through July 8th. And we're going to chat a little bit with Bill about his solo show. Bill, you've been doing photography for how long now?
Probably about 52 years.
52 years! Oh my goodness.
A long time. Started as a freshman in high school, and I've been through all the 35 millimeter, digital, everything.
Wow. So okay. Digital or analog? What do you miss it?
In a sense,
Or
I
you
do.
love the digital?
When I was in undergrad at Lindenwood in the 70s, we did all black and white. We shot it, developed it, printed it. There was a real art to that. I miss that, and I would spend hours in the darkroom with that. However, it's a lot of work doing a darkroom. And once I made the transition to digital and was able to do so, I do minimal post-processing, just enough to kind of spiff up the images a little bit, except for my black and whites. And then to be able to print them out myself on a big 13 by 19 inch printer, you just can't beat that. You just can't beat that.
Well, the other thing is digital photography is so much more green. It's less wasteful.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know, I don't know about you, but I would go through 20 rolls of film to get one great shot.
Yeah.
Or one mediocre shot. Sometimes, you know, so.
Well, and the chemicals that were used in developing were pretty toxic, some of them. So yeah, it's a lot better going digital.
Oh, definitely. I remember taking bleach baths and developer baths, and I'm sure in 20 years it's going to show on my arms.
Yeah.
So do you have some favorite subject matter that you like to shoot?
Yeah, a couple of things always interest me. I grew up in the country, so I love landscapes. And then I love old buildings. And there's plenty of old buildings around St. Charles, also other areas.
Oh, that's for sure. Down here in St. Charles, we have some images from St. Charles here.
This is the side of a building here actually on North Main Street. I was just struck by the red brick and the fire escape and the shadows. And I really was drawn to that.
Now, is that by the Promenade, if I remember?
Yes, it is.
It is, right by right. It used to be the R.T. Weiler's building.
Yes.
I think what's in it now is it baked, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
A bakery of some sort.
Yeah, that's it. This is up on North 2nd Street. North 2nd Street has always kind of fascinated me.
Oh yeah, Frenchtown.
Yeah, it's like they're always trying to be another Main Street. Sometimes they succeed, and
sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
But most of the time they do sometimes. They are undergoing a big renovation right now in Frenchtown.
I love it when I see an old building that has been lovingly maintained, even though it may be somewhat vacant. I love the stamped metal facade on that and the way it's painted.
Contrast, like the coloring and the painting.
Yes.
I mean, it's very well thought out, planned out for that building.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So this piece over here, tell us that's also on Main Street, isn't it?
That's on South Main. I was struck by the different colors of red brick that are in it. There's like 4 different shades of red brick in that. So that was what initially attracted me to it. I like the composition, if I say so myself. And then there happened to be a red truck sticking into it. Hence the title, Red Brick ×4 plus a red truck.
That's a great title. You got some awesome titles here, Bill.
Well, thank you.
I mean, like this one here, Red Brick Building, North Main.
That says it all.
North 2nd Street.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, well, simple.
I know you like to shoot down here on Main Street. You travel around quite a bit, though, too. Where are these here from?
These 2 are from Louisiana, Missouri, small town up on the Mississippi River. Now, I actually grew up in Winfield, Missouri, another small Mississippi River town. and going on up Highway 79, you go past Clarksville and come to Louisiana. When I was a kid, my dad would take us up to Louisiana because he loved to run trot lines in the Mississippi, and he would buy stink bait at the place in Louisiana.
Oh my.
Yeah, and put that in the trunk of the car and it'd smell it all the way home.
Oh yeah.
I was always fascinated by the buildings on, I believe it's Georgia Street, there in Louisiana. Beautiful, late 19th century buildings. And when I was a kid and we go up there, it was a bustling downtown, small town America sort of place. Over the years, it has kind of hollowed out. Many of the buildings are vacant. But instead of just boarding them up, they're lovingly maintained. Someone, I don't know if it's the Chamber of Commerce or somebody, keeps them painted and maintained very well. And some of them have this incredibly ornate brickwork and masonry work on them. And they're painted so that it brings that out. Even though you got a little florist shop here and then this is just vacant, it's still a beautiful building. And so I went up there and took these pictures, walked up and down Georgia Street. This was a gallery most recently, not anymore. And it's just this bright yellow color. And, you know, of course, with the stars, that architectural feature. So I just really loved taking those pictures up there. I had them on exhibit at Picasso's, about 15 of them. And when I got done hanging them, a young woman came up to me and asked me, "Did you use a wide-angle lens on these?" And I said, "Yeah, I used a 17 to 40 wide-angle." And she said, "You know what these remind me of? These remind me of being a little kid sitting in the back seat of a car watching these buildings go by." And I thought, I nailed it.
You did.
I absolutely nailed it.
You did.
Yeah. So I really like those images.
You know what I especially love about this one, and it might sound a little odd, but knowing that it's an art gallery actually like makes it a little bit, was an art gallery, I should say, makes it a little bit more interesting to me, because if you blurred this out and you just took the colors and how it's layered, it almost looks like a Rothko.
Yeah.
And I love that. I mean, the color scheme is great, and like the colors that they use in this town, wonderful. It makes you want to go take a photo journey down there again. That's great.
Yeah. Okay.
So tell me, do you have somebody who's inspired you as a photographer, or somebody who mentored you, perhaps?
I had a very good mentor in my undergrad days at Lindenwood, Lou Flormonte, who taught photography and theater there back in the 70s. He helped me a lot in terms of finding my own vision. In terms of photographers who have influenced me, back in the day, there were people like Dwayne Michaels, who did a lot of work with sequences, Jerry Uelsman, who did really interesting stuff with black and white, and Ralph Gibson, who did some really bizarre stuff. In a sense, it was a big transition for me to go not so much from analog to digital as it was to go from black and white to color.
Oh yeah.
But the funny thing was, it seems I adapted to it pretty easily.
Oh, it sure looks like it. Now we do have a few black and whites in the show, though.
Yes.
And when you want to talk about some of those for a bit.
Sure.
Right? So on to the fabulous black and white photography. Now I gotta say, I love black and white photography. I'm a little old school. And I know this is black and white, but it has an infrared look. How did you do that?
Well, actually, I used an infrared effect in post-processing.
There you go. That's
Again, shot it obviously in color, converted to black and white, and then did the infrared effect, and it just fit the building so beautifully.
Oh, it does. It gives it kind of a otherworldly effect going with it.
That's exactly what I was going for. Beautiful old building, exquisite. Oh, it's over on 6th Street, South 6th Street, and very much in disrepair. Very much in disrepair, and it's so sad seeing old buildings like that.
But you preserved it for eternity.
Yeah. Dear friend of mine insisted that I stop there and take a picture of it, and I'm like, yeah, I've been meaning to do that, so I finally did, and like I say, converted to, it had to be black and white, obviously.
Oh yeah. Now, is that the dear friend that the show is dedicated to?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's my dear friend Janice Farabee, who died back in November. Very good friend for a very long time. She volunteered at the Foundry Art Center for many years, and so yeah.
But this is a great way to honor her.
Yes, it is. She would have been my biggest cheerleader.
Oh yeah. Well, she's still cheerleading for you.
Yes.
From another space-time dimension-ish place. So she's still here.
Yes, she is. So yeah, that old picture. And then we got me and my shadow.
And you check this out, because where the camera is, it kind of looks like you're the shadow.
Yes. These are very different. For one thing, they're shot with a fisheye zoom, 8 to 15 millimeter fisheye zoom, zoomed out to the 15, so it fills the whole frame, but it's 180 degrees diagonally, and that's what gives you that curved distortion on them. How these came about is very interesting.
Now, there's more than 2 in this series.
There's 15 altogether.
15?
Yeah. By profession, I'm a counselor, a licensed professional counselor, and I've always been fascinated by the work of Carl Jung, who has the notion of archetypes, things like the persona, what you present to the world. And then one of his most powerful archetypes is the shadow. It's the stuff that we keep repressed, but it doesn't go away. It's sort of like Jekyll and Hyde.
Sure.
So I was taking pictures with my new fisheye zoom lens, and it's such a cliche that you're not supposed to get your shadow in the picture, and when you got 180 field of view, it's hard to do if the sun's out,
Right.
So just by accident, I knew it was going to be in there. I took the picture anyhow. I was out at Klondike Park taking some pictures. And when I got home and I'm looking at it on the computer, and I'm thinking, you know what? If I converted this to black and white and really jacked up the contrast, it might look pretty neat.
Well, they do.
And it sure did.
Sure did.
And so for like the next year, I worked on me and my shadow pictures. It's funny, the Louisiana pictures took an hour. These took a year. So I would go around to different locations, and there's a dual meaning here. You have the literal sense that there's literally my shadow in the picture, in both these pictures, but also the sort of the sense of the shadow archetype. This took place during a period where I wasn't real happy with myself, let's put it that way. My shadow had emerged and caused some problems in my life, let's say. And this was a way of catharsis for me to work through that. It's interesting because Jung said that if you sort of acknowledge your shadow and welcome it in, then it doesn't, it's not evil, and it can be a source of creativity. And so in all those 15 pictures, I mean, shadow's in there, but it doesn't look evil.
No, it does not.
At all. But it was a great source of inspiration. Okay. People frequently point out that there are no people in my pictures. I've got buildings, I've got landscapes, might have a shadow, but there's no actual people in my photographs. But my reply to that is there's actually two people in every one of these. There's me as the photographer, and there's you as the viewer.
That's right. That was a great quote. I love that.
Thanks.
Really like that.
Yeah. So this was on the Katy Trail. I love riding my bike on the Katy Trail. That's a spiritual experience for me. In fact, both of these were on the Katy Trail.
Sounds like torture to me, but it works for you, Bill.
This is the old bridge over Framations Creek, just outside of Defiance. Lovely. I love those old bridges. They're just phenomenal. You know, this was probably built in the early 1900s.
And what about this one here?
And this is taken, that's between Augusta and Dutzow on the Katy Trail, heading west towards Dutzow. And I love how the landscape just almost looks organic, the way it's curved there.
Love the curvature.
Yeah. And again, the Katy Trail. And boy, jacking up that contrast, that you get the dark sky, the white clouds, really works well.
Now there's a lot more pieces in this exhibition, so you gotta come down and see it in person. We will, towards the end of the exhibition, post it online in case you miss it. But it's nothing like seeing the work in person. So make sure you come down before July 8th to see Bill's work. You'll be glad you came to see it. You can also come in and see the Unless exhibition, which is showing in the main gallery. Bill's in the gallery too. Now, I have one other question for you, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all limited editions of 5, right?
Right.
So once you've printed and sold 5 of each,
That's it.
that's it. So only 5 people get the opportunity to own one of Bill Tayon's photographs at a time. So it's not like you're going to see it plastered all over restaurant walls or
No.
No, you get pretty much a 1 in a 5 kind.
Exactly.
So definitely, if you're interested in one of Bill's pieces, let us know. You can contact us through email, or call us at the gallery, or put something in the comments. And actually, if you're watching us on YouTube, put in your comment what your favorite piece is that you've seen so far. We'd love to hear that. Or if you'd have a question for Bill that you'd like to answer, I can get that and can find out the answer for you.
Sure.
So if you're getting value from the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, because we all gotta like Bill. Thumbs up that. So Bill, what is something that most people don't know about you?
Something that most people don't know about me. My life's pretty much an open book. So, I'm a photographer, I'm a counselor, I'm semi-retired, I still have a small private practice. I'm a recovering alcoholic. A couple of days ago, I celebrated 37 years of continuous sobriety.
Yay! Congratulations! That's quite a feat.
Yeah, one day at a time.
One day at a time. You're doing great. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Make it one more day.
Yeah. Yep.
So, any special thoughts you'd like to end with?
Just one thing, you asked about inspiration, and one thing that has occurred to me in terms of buildings, I have a photograph there of downtown Bowling Green a la Hopper. I love Hopper.
Okay.
So his work is definitely...
It's kind of hard not to like Hopper.
Yes, obviously. His work has definitely been an influence on me.
Well, that's wonderful. All right. Well, Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today, Bill.
Thank you so much.
Tell our YouTube audience bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye for now.